With my MacBook Pro, I can use anywhere from 1 to 3 separate monitors depending on my situation. Here, cable management is life. Having cables, plugs, accessories, having everything plugged into all the ports on my laptop, it makes it feel as if my computers are on life support. Owning Thunderbolt devices makes my life so much easier. It's a simple one cable solution for everything, one cable to plug into my laptop, and it works like magic. Paying hundreds of dollars for a Thunderbolt dock, is it really worth it? Hello and welcome back, it's V, let's get started. USB-C is the greatest and most frustrating technology in the last couple years. There's pretty much 20 different versions of this cable. In 2024, it's a single cable solution for about every device. Unlike micro USB, this can be flipped either way. Today is about Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt docks, Thunderbolt cables. Thunderbolt is a beefier version of USB-C. With the creation of Thunderbolt, there were a handful of companies to help develop it. Back in 2016, Apple redesigned their MacBook Pro. This was the start of the dongle wars. Within the last few years, Apple did bring back HDMI, SD card slots, and MagSafe back to their laptops. Those couple years were really terrible for MacBook Pros. I believe I still have PTSD from my butterfly keyboard. Personally, I use Thunderbolt docks at home. I use USB while I'm out. With Thunderbolt devices, you can daisy chain multiple devices together. The most common usage is external eGPUs, docks, or monitors. Granted, these are pricey, but they really are worth it. It really requires one cable to plug into my MacBook Pro. Even my Windows laptop has a Thunderbolt port. With that, I can use 2 to 3 monitors, all my storage, all my accessories into one cable to plug into my laptop. It makes my overall desk setup look a lot cleaner. Like with Thunderbolt docks, a lot of people don't quite know what it is. Buying a Thunderbolt dock can be kind of intimidating because of all the features and specs for these things. They're not always advertised well. In my former life, before I became a YouTube enthusiast, when I first got into tech and technology, I've always used USB hubs. Out and about, I always had dongles for USB-A or HDMI because my laptop only had USB-C ports. In my office area, I had a few different USB-C hubs, which at the time, they did get the job done. They offered some functionality, unison, and harmony with my setup. USB-C hubs can run 2 monitors, a bunch of accessories. It did require a dual USB-C cable to be plugged in. It worked great because it was made for MacBook Pros in mind. At the time, it could run 2 to 3 monitors, but it wasn't that great. I was limited to 30 or 40 hertz depending on the dock. Video output with Type-C generally was never that great. Some were better than others with the port selection. Finding the right dock with the best port selection can be kind of hit or miss. The internal charging for my laptop over USB-C was really slow. The shelf life of these were under a year. I think I eventually went through about 3 of these before I got my Thunderbolt dock. Data speeds are standard USB. They are not Thunderbolt speeds. If I were to transfer over large video files, it would actually take quite a while. These do try to be Thunderbolt docks, but they're really not. The prices can range anywhere from $50 up to about $200. At the higher price point, it's more ideal just to pick up a Thunderbolt dock because it's about the same price. Unless I really know what I'm looking for, I could pick up the wrong one, which I did. I did pick up the Anker 777 off Amazon for about $300, and that's a Thunderbolt 4 dock. It did state it would work with MacBook Pros, but only the Intel ones. Why would a new Thunderbolt 4 dock only work with the older Intel ones? Irregardless, I do like the unboxing of this device. Thunderbolt docks tend to be pretty heavy and dense for having such a smaller form factor. They do give you a small Thunderbolt cable in the box. Typically, I like to have about 3 or 4 feet, not just one, because I like to have that longer reach. The power brick on these devices are pretty huge. The Thunderbolt docks tend to have ports on the front and back side. On the front side, it has an SD card slot, a port for headphones, 2 Type-C ports. On the back side, it has DC input for charging, HDMI, Thunderbolt connectors, Ethernet, and 4 Type-A ports. I can hook up about everything I own to this. Each dock is a little bit different with their port selection. Some could have 2 display ports or 2 HDMIs, more Type-C ports over Type-A. It really depends. Overall, I like to stick with a wide array of ports. A a little bit of everything because I do tend to plug in a bunch of different devices. This dock would have been it for me if it would have worked with M1, but it's only Intel based. This won't work with any of the ARM processors, so the new Snapdragon chip that came out for Windows will not work with this. This is good for connecting multiple monitors together, all your accessories, all your cables into one dock. It's premium enough, it's big enough, it offers enough port selection. For Windows computers, this is one of the better Thunderbolt 4 docks to pick up. It offers a wide array of ports, it can work with 3 different monitors, and the price point isn't overly expensive either. It is also made by Anker, which is a brand you can trust. Afterwards, I picked up this Thunderbolt 3 dock off Amazon for about $200. The Anker 577, which I've been using for a few years, is still going strong. The whole background with different versions of USB 3 and 4, that's a whole story within itself. Thunderbolt 3 and 4 aren't as bad as USB, but they can get sort of murky. Both use the same 40 gigabyte connection. Thunderbolt 4 will give you access to more Thunderbolt ports. 3 is a little bit more limited. If you do like a lot of high-end photo, video, and graphics, Thunderbolt 4 makes sense. There's a little bit more power behind everything. Plus with Thunderbolt 4, it can push out 8K monitors if that's like ever a thing. Thunderbolt 3 is more than enough for most people. Upgrading to Thunderbolt 4 compared to 3, it crossed my mind, but there's really not much to really justify the upgrade. Thunderbolt 3 is more than enough for like 90% of people out there. The Anker 577 has been holding up pretty well. If this video does well, I might do a comparison between Thunderbolt 3 and Thunderbolt 4. When I picked up this dock, it didn't come with a Thunderbolt cable. You can use USB-C, but it's very limiting. I picked up my own off Amazon for about $30. I like having longer cables just for that extra reach. On the backside, you have the DC input for the charging, HDMI, 3 Type-A ports, and a few Type-C ports. On the front side, you have full micro SD card slots, a few Type-A and Type-C ports. For myself, I like having SD card slots in front, especially for photo and video for my camera. I just really like having a hub, the maximum ports I can get. At some point, I will eventually fill everything up. Like the biggest difference between Thunderbolt docks and USB-C hubs are like video signal. My 49-inch ultrawide can do its native resolution only with Thunderbolt. With USB-C dongles, hubs, it can't really push out the native resolution. My other Thunderbolt dock has a display port on the backside. I can get 180 Hz refresh with that. With USB-C cables, docks, and dongles, normally I can only get like 40 Hz refresh. There's a very big difference when it comes to video. After setting everything up, I have all my storage connected and hidden away. I have an under the table net which hides all my cables for like $20. Cable management is life. Usually Thunderbolt docks when connected will also charge any laptop at the same time. It will vary from dock to dock from about 50 watts up to 100 watts. While connected, it will charge. This one will do 85 watts of charging. With my workflow, with either a 14 or 16-inch MacBook Pro, while connected, this will remain charged. Either way, my 16-inch MacBook Pro will remain charged even with me working. Between memory cards, extra storage, monitors, mouse, keyboards, microphones, even my webcam, everything connects to one dock. I can run everything from one cable to my laptop, and that's all I need. 3 or 4 different hubs, cables everywhere. I just need one, and that's all I need. Really, my laptop doesn't look like it's on life support anymore. This is so much fun right now. Every hole of my laptop is being filled. It looks wonderful. This looks just like a puzzle right here. It looks so great. I really like Thunderbolt docks because it makes my life so much easier compared to this. This was the end of the video, but TobenOne reached out to me to send me a Thunderbolt 4 dock to review. This can be picked up off Amazon for about $250. I like this one over the 577 because it offers a little bit more. This offers 100 watts of charging for any laptop compared to 85 watts. It can also push out to an 8K monitor if they ever come out. Inside the box, you have the customer service card. You have a Thunderbolt cable in the box, a magnetic base to hold it upright if that's your thing. I prefer to keep it on its side. The power brick is still equally as huge. It has to power everything. These are generally pretty big. The front side has the on and off button, micro and full size SD card slots, headphone jack, 1 Type-C and 2 Type-A ports. The backside has DC input, Ethernet, 3 Type-A ports, a Thunderbolt port for more devices, the host port, a display, and HDMI port. I like this one better because it has a display port. HDMI is limited to 60 Hz refresh. Display ports can do about 300 frames per second. Display ports are better than HDMI. I like the design of this one better. The base here is strong and the magnets are really durable. The base here is about 200 grams and the dock here is about double that, so it won't really fall over. With all my accessories, multiple monitors, storage, whatever I throw at it, everything will work here. For myself, I'm always looking for a dock with as many ports as possible. Any Thunderbolt dock 3 or 4 will make any desk surface look look cleaner, and they work so much better than just having USB hubs. The iPad Pros from the M1s to the M4s have a Thunderbolt port, which most people don't really know about. My MacBook Pro, my laptop, they both have Thunderbolt ports, so it's about the same here. Everything I plug into my laptop will also work the same with my iPad. Like, I can connect one monitor, a microphone, storage, accessories, headphones. It even gives me extra ports. It's easy, it's simple, it's a one cable solution for my iPad. It will also charge my iPad at the same time. When I switch from my laptop to my iPad, it's really the same thing. I plug in one cable, I don't have to do anything else. All my accessories will work the same with my iPad versus my laptop. USB docks are fine by themselves, but Thunderbolt docks are so much better. Having one cable for everything is really nice. I hate having to plug in a million cables into my laptop. It really looks like life support. Having cables running everywhere, it just looks bad. For anyone who uses their laptop, like what I do, like with my MacBook Pro, it's a simple and clean solution for any home office. With different monitors, with a bunch of different cables, a bunch of different accessories, Thunderbolt docks are really the way to go. Thunderbolt 4 is nice, but Thunderbolt 3 is more than enough for most people. There are dozens of different Thunderbolt docks out there, but these two are the main ones I use, so like always, it's V, stay classy.